Everyone, welcome back to My Creative Classroom. I'm excited about this episode because today I welcome one of the presenters from the Atlantic Education Institute on July 26th to August 6th, Jami Moyer, who will be sharing what to expect during the Steelcase education sessions during the Institute. Jami, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast.
Hey, thanks, Brian. I'm so excited to be here.
So, Jami, let's tell our listeners a little bit about who you are and what your role is with Steelcase.
All right, great. Well, I work for Steelcase, which is a furniture company, but we are very focused on research. We're really working with a number of education institutions around the world, looking at how we can help those institutions create effective, rewarding, and inspiring active learning environments. So I'm in a customer experience role with the Steelcase learning team. So in a support function here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I've been meeting with schools from around the world, thinking about this critical time right now as so many of our customers are wondering what the fall looks like. How are they bringing back students, faculty, staff, teachers in a safe manner? What does the fall look like just in terms of learning environments? So we had set up a number of vignettes in our space, and it's a great way to share our latest research, applications, and products. So we've been having a lot of discussions around what are the latest trends, looking at research around blended environments, looking at well-being, where are schools on the journey with active learning environments, how are they measuring that. So I've been supporting that the last 5 or 6 months in an almost full-time manner here in Michigan.
Wow, that's awesome. And before we dive into your sessions, you mentioned Steelcase is a furniture company, and I've actually had the privilege of seeing a lot of the examples at prior conferences. And so for our listeners and our viewers who are thinking, what kind of furniture are you talking about, Jami? Can we just give a little bit of a background? What does Steelcase produce, and what do you provide to schools?
Absolutely. We are over 100 years old, and the focus of our Steelcase learning team has always been around those active learning environments. But we know learning does happen everywhere, so we have been helping schools rethink classroom environments, those in-between spaces, the hallways, the learning commons, the cafes, student union type of spaces, as well as more of teacher instruction spaces, faculty office areas. So love to think that we can be your one resource for the whole school as you're thinking about doing renovations or new construction.
That's super cool. And I have to say, the furniture is amazing, and its versatility. I know, so I work here in New Brunswick. A lot of our schools have Steelcase furniture in them, and they love it. So anybody who's listening or watching, I encourage you to check out Steelcase to see their furniture, because it's I'll even say it's not what you think. You know, it's more than typical furniture, and it does help evolve education beyond your rows of desks, if you will. I'm trying not to give away too many sneak peeks here, but it does go beyond rows of desks and things like that. So it's not just your typical kind of furniture that you would expect to buy, year after year.
Yeah, we have been hosting schools from all over, mainly on virtual tours, and I've just been blown away by the schools that I have met from Canada. So forward-thinking, so advanced, so challenging us with the type of questions, what you're looking at, what type of spaces you are. So it's been really amazing to get a little glimpse of what's happening in your country in the education world.
Absolutely. So let's dive into your sessions, Jami. What can our participants that are attending the Atlantic Education Institute, or our listeners who are thinking, should I go? What can they expect when they attend your session during those 2 weeks?
Yeah, absolutely. We will take the audience through about 18 different vignettes that we have set up in our Learning and Innovation Center here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Variety of spaces from those active learning, classroom type of areas to high flex blended environments, rethinking what might be happening in the hallways. We're also looking at some emerging technology spaces. So I've been having some great conversations around virtual reality, esports, looking at outdoor learning or design thinking. So there's such a wide variety of spaces that we're going to take you through, share a little bit of our research. What are our researchers seeing as we've spent time in classrooms around North America and even beyond that? Talk about some applications. It'll be a really interactive session, so we'll be asking a lot of questions, just trying to gauge what your different schools are seeing, what are some of the trends, what are the challenges, where could they learn from each other, maybe make some new connections with some of their peers that they haven't met before. So we'll take them through the spaces again, to share a little bit of our research. Why does it create that type of application, and then how do you use that as inspiration for projects that you are working on?
Sounds like a super fun session. And so where can people go and check out, the furniture that you do offer and kind of order information? And would they contact you directly if they're interested, maybe for the new school year in purchasing furniture?
Yeah, absolutely. I can be a reference, but I will tie you back and we can share information, some of the contact information for Barry Brennan, who is my counterpart in Canada, our regional education manager, as well as Joel Brown, who is locally in your part of the country. Steelcase.com is a great place to go and get a little bit of information around what we are doing. You can search learning, and then there's also a few different brands under Steelcase, which we will share. One brand called Smith System, which has historically been a very K-12 focused furniture company that falls under Steelcase Inc. So on the tour, we'll share a number of the different families that are part of it, and we can introduce our local resources as well, so that there's someone that they feel comfortable calling with that can drive out and help, or be able to host a local showroom visit if that's something of interest.
Absolutely. And even just visiting, like you said, steelcase.com to check it out, see what's there to offer, even before the session, or once you're in the session, you're really kind of want to flip through and see what's going on. I think that's a great opportunity for our listeners and our viewers to see what Steelcase has to offer, because you never know, right? We traditionally in education have seen rows of desks, even the teacher desk being the stagnant kind of thing in the classroom. Let's think about transformational and think beyond, which leads me to my next question. The theme of the conference is innovative leadership. And obviously, the furniture that Steelcase has to offer is innovative. It's not just a table. It's not just a chair. I mean, obviously, there are some that could be that. But what does it mean to you, Jami, and to Steelcase, that theme of innovative leadership?
Well, we love if the audience isn't familiar with Steelcase. Spend a little bit of time clicking around our website, reading different articles about us. I keep using this term worldwide, but definitely a global leader in the furniture business. Steelcase is ranked number one. And what we're really known for is our research. So if you get to come visit us in person in Michigan, hopefully when the borders open, so many schools leave at the end of the day amazed that they thought they were coming on a furniture tour, and it was much more high-level discussion, sharing research insights, and they leave saying, oh, hey, furniture maybe is the byproduct. But definitely if you're looking at who is the thought leader in the industry, as you're really thinking about the built environment, how does space support student engagement, which leads to student success, you're going to see a little bit more about that by looking through some of our different articles on steelcase.com. So that's very important to us, that we're always going to be the thought leader in our industry, whether it's the focus on commercial clients, health clients, or our learning customers as well. So spending a lot of time living in your environments, taking pictures, videos, asking questions, really thinking about how we best design new product solutions and new applications based on what clients need, rather than trying to just design a pretty looking piece of furniture and thinking that is going to work for your students.
That's super great. And that's, and it's sometimes in education, you kind of just get a catalog and that's it, right? You go with the catalog because that's just what you tend to get in the mail. And I think encouraging our listeners and our viewers to check out steelcase.com to see what else is out there, and even see what might kind of spark an idea that you may not have thought of when you're looking at what Steelcase has to offer, which kind of brings me to another question that I just thought of as you were talking. So you mentioned that there are some representatives obviously in Canada. So do you ship from Canada? Are you able to ship to Canada? I guess obviously you ship worldwide, but do you kind of have an area in Canada, or do you always ship from the U.S.?
Shipping from the U.S. So most of our products that would be going to Canada are made in Michigan, Alabama, Texas. So looking at going across the border, being open to trucks, right? Not always us going across. And then you would just reference of looking at the website. There are some great new research articles that are out there, even if any of your audience is looking for ideas around esports, well-being, even a return to campus. Blended high-flex classrooms will be some of the latest research, which we will cover some of those topics on the tour as well.
That's super amazing. And esports is, obviously a huge thing in education moving forward. And all of everything you're saying is huge for education. And I really encourage all of our listeners and all our viewers to check out steelcase.com to learn more information, and really register for the Atlantic Education Institute and take part in that Steelcase session during those 2 weeks of July 26th to August 6th, because you will learn so much about what they have to offer. And I will, without a doubt, you'll be inspired to help transform what your classroom physically looks like for your students as you move forward. So Jami, I want to thank you for taking the time to share the story of Steelcase, what our viewers and our listeners can expect when they join the session during the Atlantic Education Institute. I encourage everyone, visit steelcase.com to learn more about what they offer and what some of their furniture looks like. As always, follow us on social media at MyCreativePod. My name is Brian Willett, and this was My Creative Classroom.